Look around you. The walls, the sky, your hands, the screen glowing in front of your eyes. You think you see colors, red, blue, green, life painted in meaning. You think these colors are real, objective, universal. You believe they exist out there, waiting for you to notice them. But physics tells a brutal truth. The universe has never had color, not in space, not in atoms, not in light itself. The red of a rose, the blue of the ocean, the golden sunset, all lies, all inventions of your brain. Color is not a property of the world. It is a translation, a guess, a survival tool created by 3 pounds of meat, neurons firing and twisting electricity into sensation. Light itself is nothing more than electromagnetic radiation, invisible waves of energy vibrating at specific frequencies. There is no red in a photon. There is no blue in a beam of sunlight. There are only vibrations, energy patterns, data. Your brain takes those patterns and converts them into the experiences you call color. Without your eyes, without your neurons, the universe would remain a colorless, silent chaos. Every color you have ever experienced is a private hallucination. Your brain constructs it. Every memory of a blue sky or red apple is filtered through this biological lens, a lens shaped over millions of years, not to reveal the truth, but to keep you alive. Evolution did not care about accuracy. It only cared about survival. If seeing red helped you avoid danger or find food, your brain made sure you saw red. If seeing a certain shade of green told you which leaves were safe to eat, your brain adapted. Meaning and beauty are side effects of biological programming, not cosmic truths. This leads to the first shocking realization: you have never directly experienced reality, never once. All your senses, all your perceptions are constructions, reconstructions, stories your brain tells to make sense of raw, meaningless data. What you call vision is not a window to the world. It is a sophisticated simulation. You are constantly navigating a world of interpretations, illusions, and shortcuts. The real universe, the chaotic raw energy and matter vibrating in a silent, indifferent void, never touches you directly. You see a filtered version. You live in a user interface. And this interface is highly convincing. It is seamless. It is immersive. It fools you every second of your life. You see continuity where there is discontinuity. You see objects where there is only energy and probability. You see red apples, blue skies, golden sunsets, and assume they are real. And that assumption shapes every choice you make, every preference, every emotional reaction, every aesthetic judgment, every memory, all based on a version of reality that is already a fiction. Here is another harsh truth. Different creatures perceive the universe in radically different ways. Bees see ultraviolet patterns on flowers invisible to you. Snakes see infrared heat, sensing prey through radiation you cannot detect. Birds see colors you literally cannot imagine, patterns beyond your mental palette. Which of you sees reality? None of you. Reality is not waiting for perception to catch up. Reality exists independently of eyes, brains, and interpretation. Color is not a property of the world. It is a negotiation between biology and physics, a compromise between survival and the infinite complexity of the universe. If you continue to trust your perception unquestioningly, you are living in a self-created prison of illusions. You are certain you see the truth, but you see only a carefully curated simulation, designed by evolution, by necessity, by survival. Every memory, every choice, every belief is filtered through this interface, and yet, the lie is so convincing, so seamless, that you forget it is a lie at all. The question you must ask yourself now is this: if color is invented, if your reality is filtered, what else is a construction? How much of the world you trust, the world you love, the world you defend, exists only inside your head? The first step to seeing the universe clearly is understanding that everything you perceive as color, as reality, as beauty, is a product of your own brain, and realizing that will change everything. Light travels from the sun to earth, a journey of 150 million kilometers. You imagine it as warm, bright, golden, perhaps comforting. You believe it carries meaning, but the universe does not care about your experience. Photons carry only energy, nothing more. They are messengers of physics, blind to beauty, indifferent to red, blue, or green. When these photons strike your eyes, a remarkable process begins. Specialized cells called cones react differently depending on the wavelength of light. Electrical signals fire, patterns emerge, and then your brain performs its greatest deception. It invents color, not discovers it, not uncovers it, creates it. A synthetic sensation, a lie designed to help you survive, not to reveal reality. Here is a shocking truth. Other species experience the universe in ways you cannot even imagine. Bees see ultraviolet patterns on flowers that guide them to nectar. Snakes sense infrared heat, reading the world as a thermal map. Birds perceive colors beyond your mental palette, patterns your brain literally cannot reproduce. Which of them sees the real world? None. Reality does not exist in a single visual spectrum. It exists as energy, as waves, as probabilities, indifferent to any observer. Color, then, is not a property of objects. It is a negotiation between biology and physics, a translation your brain performs to make raw data intelligible. The sky isn't blue. It is light scattered by molecules in the atmosphere. A rose isn't red. It is a collection of photons, reflected at certain frequencies. The golden sunset you admire? It is nothing but atmospheric filtering, diffraction, and scattering, interpreted into beauty by your mind. And here is the deeper, more uncomfortable realization: your perception evolved to help you survive, not to see truth. Red flags, ripe fruit, safe terrain. Your senses are fine-tuned to detect utility, danger, opportunity. Accuracy is secondary. Survival is primary. Every color you see, every object you recognize, is calibrated for utility, not truth. Imagine living every day in a world where your senses lie to you constantly, yet you trust them implicitly. That is exactly what you do. The universe does not deliver truth directly. It delivers signals. Your brain interprets those signals, simplifies them, adds context, fills in gaps, and presents you with a reality that works, not one that is accurate. Ignoring this fact has consequences. It traps you in certainty, makes you overconfident in perception, blinds you to the invisible forces shaping reality. You argue over appearances. You trust instincts shaped for survival, not understanding. And all the while, the universe operates independently, governed by laws indifferent to your comfort or comprehension. If you can accept this, you begin to see beyond the illusion. You begin to recognize that your experience of color, your sense of sight, your perception of the world is a construction, a tool, a filter, a story your brain tells about energy and light. The universe itself remains uncolored, unjudged, unsentimental, and infinitely more strange than you imagined. Your brain is not a camera. It does not record the world. It reconstructs it. Every second, it receives incomplete, noisy, and chaotic information from your senses. Light hits your eyes, vibrations hit your ears, molecules hit your nose, pressure hits your skin. None of it is perfect, none of it is complete. And yet, your brain produces a seamless, continuous experience of the world, a world that doesn't actually exist. This is where the second shocking truth hits. Your brain lies constantly, and it must lie for you to function. Edges are sharpened artificially. Brightness is adjusted automatically. Colors shift depending on context without your noticing. Motion is smoothed. Gaps are filled. Your mind creates objects out of energy patterns. It invents solidity, stability, and continuity from a universe that is fundamentally probabilistic and mostly empty space. Think about it. The red you see is not out there. It is a signal interpreted, translated, and constructed. The blue sky, a story your brain tells based on light scattering. The green leaves, a pattern simplified and labeled for survival. Without your brain's interpretation, you would perceive a chaotic storm of electromagnetic waves, fluctuating energy, and probabilities. You would be overwhelmed instantly, unable to function. Your brain does not just lie, it invents the very world you live in. What you perceive as reality is a simulation, a curated interface designed for survival. Every preference, every fear, every aesthetic judgment, every memory is filtered through this interface. You live inside a world tailored by evolution, not by physics. Different conditions illustrate this vividly. Optical illusions trick your mind because your brain fills gaps incorrectly. Color after images appear because your visual system adapts to stimuli in ways that are entirely functional, not factual. Hallucinations show that under certain conditions, your brain can produce complete realities without any external input at all. Your perception is not reality, it is an interpretation designed to keep you alive, coherent, and able to act. And yet, most people live their lives as if their senses are trustworthy. They argue about appearances, they trust instinct and perception blindly. They fall in love with what their brain presents, confident in its accuracy. But all of this is built on a lie, a beautiful, necessary, functional lie. Understanding this changes everything. It forces you to question your certainty. It forces you to recognize that reality is stranger and less human-centered than you imagine. If you continue to trust your perception blindly, you live trapped inside the brain's narrative, mistaking the interface for the universe itself. The takeaway is simple and terrifying. The world you see, the colors you admire, the memories you cherish, they are all reconstructions, inventions of your own mind. Your brain is the storyteller, and you have been listening without questioning the story. If you can start to accept this, you begin to see beyond appearances. You begin to understand that your experience is a filter, a translation, a survival tool. And once you see that, you begin to glimpse reality as it truly is, chaotic, indifferent, and infinitely more astonishing than the comfortable world your brain constructs. If color is a fabrication, if your perception is a reconstruction, then what else in your world is a story your brain is telling you? The answer is unsettling, almost everything. Time feels smooth, yet physics tells us that time is relative, stretching and contracting depending on speed and gravity. Solids feel stable and permanent, yet atoms are mostly empty space, held together by forces you cannot see or touch. Stillness feels calm. Yet the Earth spins at 1,600 kilometers per hour, orbiting the Sun at nearly 30 kilometers per second. Your senses tell you the world is orderly and safe, but the universe itself does not care. Here is the third harsh truth. Your senses are not truth detectors. They are survival tools. Evolution built them to help you avoid danger, find food, reproduce, and survive, not to reveal the cosmic truth. Your eyes filter out the vast majority of electromagnetic radiation. Your ears catch only a tiny fraction of sound frequencies. Your nose detects molecules selectively. Your brain reconstructs reality from fragments. Everything you perceive is optimized for usefulness, not accuracy. This has consequences. Most humans never realize that they live inside a personal simulation created by their own biology. They trust perception without questioning it. They argue over appearances. They fight over color, over form, over meaning, believing their senses show reality. Meanwhile, the universe operates according to indifferent laws, vast and ancient, utterly unconcerned with human comfort or understanding. Ignoring this truth is dangerous. It traps you in certainty, blinds you to possibilities, narrows your thinking. You mistake survival instincts for truth. You mistake your interface, the filtered, edited, reconstructed experience your brain provides, for the universe itself. You navigate life thinking the world conforms to human perception, yet reality is far stranger, far less human-centered than you imagine. Understanding this, however, offers freedom. It allows you to step outside the simulation your brain constructs and begin to see the universe on its own terms. You begin to understand that what you perceive is a filter, a map, not the territory. You begin to realize that certainty is an illusion, that your instincts are approximations, that reality is indifferent and far more astonishing than your comfortable interpretations. The cosmic consequence is this: once you see beyond your sensory simulation, you can start to interact with the universe in a new way. You can question assumptions, challenge instincts, and explore truth rather than relying on appearance. You can recognize that beauty, meaning, and color are creations of the mind, not inherent properties of reality, and that recognition can radically change how you live, think, and act. The universe is not designed to make sense to you. It does not cater to your comfort or intuition. But it is vast, lawful, and astonishing. Accepting that your perception is a survival-based simulation rather than a window to truth is the first step toward truly seeing reality, and the first step toward thinking boldly enough to act in it. The colors you have admired, the sunsets that made you feel alive, the familiar objects you touch every day, all of them are inventions of your brain. Every experience you trust, every memory you cling to, every judgment you make about the world, filtered, reconstructed, and translated by biology. You live in a simulation, and it feels seamless, convincing, and real. But it is not reality. It is a user interface optimized for survival, not for truth. This is not an abstract concept. It is personal. Everything you think you know about the world, about yourself, about beauty, danger, and meaning is filtered through this simulation. If you continue to trust it blindly, you remain trapped inside illusions. You argue about appearances. You fear what does not exist. You admire what is only invented. You are at the mercy of a system that evolved for utility, not understanding. But there is freedom here. Freedom in knowledge. When you understand that the universe is indifferent, that color is invented, that your senses are tools of survival rather than truth, you gain perspective. You see life differently. You see reality as it is, chaotic, magnificent, and uncompromising. You begin to understand that certainty is a trap, comfort is often a lie, and beauty, meaning, and color exist not in the universe, but inside your mind. Once you accept this, a shift happens. You stop taking perception at face value. You question your instincts. You examine assumptions. You stop reacting to appearances and begin to understand underlying reality. You stop mistaking survival tools for cosmic truth. You start thinking critically, boldly, freely. Imagine the implications of ignoring this. You will continue to live in a bubble of illusion. You will trust your memory, your senses, your instinct, and continue to misunderstand the world. You will mistake survival for truth and comfort for reality. You will miss the infinite complexity, indifference, and awe of the universe. You will settle for a story your brain invented instead of the truth the universe offers. Now imagine the alternative. You acknowledge the simulation. You see the lies. You recognize the universe for what it is, uncolored, chaotic, indifferent, magnificent. You act with knowledge rather than instinct. You explore without illusions. You challenge assumptions. You think in ways your ancestors could not, because they trusted perception blindly. You embrace uncertainty, curiosity, and courage. You begin to live consciously, not reactively. This is your call to action. Wake up. Question everything you see, feel, and believe. Understand that the world your senses present is filtered and reconstructed, and only by confronting this truth can you begin to perceive reality as it truly exists. Stop hiding behind the comforting illusions of perception. Look beyond the interface. Explore the universe not as your brain tells you it is, but as it is, strange, complex, indifferent, and infinitely more astonishing than any lie it has ever presented to you. Do not wait, do not settle, do not accept the comforting falsehoods. The universe does not pause for your illusions. It does not wait for your comfort or your certainty. It challenges you, it confronts you, it dares you to think, to see, and to act without excuses. Wake up. Question your senses. See beyond color, beyond memory, beyond the comforting story your brain tells. Face the universe as it truly is. Think boldly, act boldly, live boldly, because reality is waiting, indifferent and magnificent, and it will not slow down for you.